Hello, this is Kes, and I am talking to you about the YouTube Pagan Challenge 2016. And this one is about divination. As you can see, I have a couple, a set of tarot cards and a Gypsy Witch card. The Gypsy Witch cards was probably my first real experience with anything like that. My mom had a set. She had it as long as I can remember, really. I mean, I was probably 7, 8, 10 when I first spotted them. And she said she got them when she was at a garage sale when she was younger. And she basically told me never to tell anyone that we owned them. These are not the actual set. This is a set that I got in my local pagan shop not too long ago. It does look a little beaten up, but that's because my youngest cat, he really likes to play with my magical stuff. Just a few minutes ago, I was hunting all over for my pendulum right there. Couldn't find it for the life of me. I don't know where he took it. He took it and he hid it, and I finally found it. He likes taking off with things. Anything that he deems magical, he will take off with or play with or move. If he doesn't like it, he will hide it from me. Sometimes I find it, sometimes it's just lost. I will probably find it when I move out here. But the Gypsy cards were the first thing that I ever experienced. And the cards look like this. They look like playing cards. They have different things on them. This one is, try to get closer. The broken glass foretells a luck for long years if near. Although it does come with a thing that tells you how to lay these out, they are not the same as the original ones, the original layouts that I learned when I was younger from the same deck. I am not exactly sure why they changed it. Maybe they thought it was better. But I still use the way that the same fortune-telling cards told me how to use them way back when. I do like them because it literally says on there what it means. You don't have to try to memorize each one. I find that sometimes hard for me to do. I'm actually pretty decent at memorizing, but retaining it for long times, unless I do it over and over, is very hard for me. My second one I'm going to show you is the Wildwood Tarot. I absolutely love this deck. I have used it half a dozen times. I was working really super hard on learning this deck. And then, you know, it started getting busy, my life got busy, and most of what I remember has went out the window. I love the looks of these cards though. The back of the card is beautiful. I love that. And then I love the artwork on each of these cards. There's the Queen of Arrows, the Swan. I just love each and every one of these. They're so beautiful. and they're so unique. Here is the 6 of arrows for transition. Sometimes these cards, what I feel like they're telling me is different than what the book says, however, so that kind of throws me off, and what tarot cards in general for the 6 of arrows might tell me. That throws me off, so I'm not very good with these yet, but I'm hoping to be one day able to use these a lot more often, because I do love them, and I find them to be quite beautiful. And I love woodland creatures. I love all the main cards that come in here. I can't seem to find any right now that I'm trying to look for them, but there's one of them. The moon on the water. The pole star. I just find the artwork is absolutely beautiful. I wish I was a little more well versed in these, and I wish I had someone to really use them on, because other than me and my spouse, I don't really have anyone to use them on and practice, which makes it harder. With the Gypsy Witch, when I was younger, I did have some friends that were very close and to me that, you know, I could tell basically anything to, that I am no longer in touch with. And they taught me a lot of things, and they could use, I think, tarot cards a little bit, but not a whole lot. Probably the thing that I use most every day, probably since before I even knew what one of these was, I was using stuff like it, from putting a pen on a string to, you know, different things, you know, a bolt on a string. I didn't know what it was. I was just swinging it and having fun with it. I leave it still and it would swing, and I have always had a lot of luck with them. This one's a snowflake obsidian, and has turquoise in it as well, and I use that. I used to have one, and it made it through 5 moves. It wasn't damaged, it was homemade, it didn't have a chain, it was just a string from like a sewing kit and some stones on it that I put on there, and, you know, it lasted me probably, I made it when I was 17, 18. Excuse me. And it lasted me until just a few years ago, when I lost it, when I actually moved into the apartment I live in now. And this one, I was in my local pagan shop, and it literally jumped off the shelf at me. I hadn't even touched it yet. I had just put my hand up towards it, and it literally fell off the shelf and into my hand. And I was like, okay, you must be coming home with me. I have this similar effect, not quite as strong, with pretty much any one that I touch. They just seem to work well for me. They're always seem to work for me whether I want them to or not. Some work better, some work not as well, but they all seem to work for me. I haven't found one that doesn't work for me. Well, my spouse, pretty much every single one that he touches does not work for him. He finally found one that does. Of course, it's in his birthstone. And I think that's the only reason it really works for him. Sorry, I keep having to pause this because I keep coughing. I also have this, which is a crystal ball. It is a tiger eye crystal ball, and I have not used it that much. It does have a stand, although whenever I put it on the stand, someone comes along and pushes it off and rolls off. So I actually keep it in a little bowl now so he cannot take off with it thinking it is his personal cat toy. But it is very beautiful. I haven't used it that much for its intended purposes, but I do own one. And I think that's it for this one. I'm already running into like 11 minutes. I don't know how this is going to download. So that is all. See you guys later. Bye.